What's up, man? How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm a little under the weather, but I'm good. Enjoying a nice, refreshing Dr. Pepper. We're good to go.
Oh, okay. Well, the end of that is good news. The beginning sucks.
It does. It is what it is. I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. We're all set. But the Dr. Pepper is in honor of this interview. You're a big Dr. Pepper fan, and so am I.
Woo!
So we're good to go, man. Love it. But
Awesome.
gotta tell you, I'm a little bummed out. I was looking forward to seeing you guys on Friday last week at Louder Than Life, and ended up not happening because of the
Oh,
weather, dude. But it is what it
I
is.
know. This is going to be an epic week too, because we had
Yeah.
Louder Than Life, which is epic, and then
Yep.
we had about 3 days with Breaking Ben, and then those days were originally going to be Avenged. Avenged had to
Yeah.
cancel, and then Breaking Ben took them over, and then they
Yep.
canceled it again. I'm like, gee whiz, it's been a brutal week.
I
It's gonna be
know.
like the best week of the year.
And you guys are going to be playing with Billy Idol too at Louder Than Life. I mean,
Oh
come
my
on.
gosh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, man. But you guys are doing Rock
Vital
Allegiance this
Idol.
week, right? You guys are doing Rock Allegiance this week. Hopefully that one works out. So fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
that's right. That
I
King
mean,
of Souls, I'm gonna. Yeah.
no more
Well,
festival, no more festivals. So,
that's right.
oh man, but we're not here to talk about Skillet. We're here to talk about Fight the Fury, the new project. It's out in 3 weeks from Friday, man. Dude, that first single,
Woo!
man, my demons. Oh my god. From the very beginning, fans were starting to compare it to Slipknot. I mean, this is heavy stuff,
Mm.
man. This is heavy. How does it feel to be like compared to a band as heavy as that? The comparisons, the reception has been insanely positive. I mean, it's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. I love everything you just said. Next question. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. No, it's been a really exciting time. I mean,
Yeah.
like, kind of starting at 5 years ago is when I was like, you know
Mm.
what? I really want to do a side project. I mean, I've been doing
Okay.
Skillet for 20 years.
Yeah.
Well, not at that point. At that point, it's been 15 years,
Right.
and I love Skillet. I love what I get to do.
Yeah.
But when you're keeping a band going for that long, and unless you're lucky enough to have been someone who, like, created the wheel,
Right.
meaning like Metallica or AC/DC.
Yeah.
Nobody wants AC/DC to come out with anything fresh and new. Like, we want AC/DC to sound like AC/DC.
Yeah.
Metallica, it needs to sound like Ride the Lightning. Yes, please.
Yep.
So, I think that unless you're lucky enough to be one of those bands, you're constantly changing with the times. You're trying new things, and I love that about Skillet. But in that, what has happened, it's still successful. I love it, love the fans, but Skillet kind of has become a lot of different things, and
Yeah.
Skillet now is more about songs. It's about, I mean, it is about things that I love, which are songs and lyrics and
Mm.
emotion. I love all of that stuff. But one of the things that Skillet used to be about, 20 years ago, was guitar riffs and guitar
Mhm.
tones and bass tone and showing somebody that showing off on let's just admit it,
Yeah.
showing off on your guitar used to be a really
Yeah.
great aspect of metal that I loved.
Yeah.
Trying something that maybe people aren't expecting. You're going from 4/4 time signature and 3/4, and you watch people go, oh crap, I never expected that to happen. Or
Right.
one of the things I personally love is like multiple guitar solos in a song. It used to be able
Yeah.
to start with a solo. Look at Scorpions. There's
Yes.
a solo starts the song, and then there's a little solo lead in between the
Yeah.
first chorus and the second verse, bridge, harmony solo, and then outro solo. And you can't quite do that in the same way anymore. And I said,
Yeah.
I want to start a project where I can just cut loose, and I don't have to have anybody. I'm not throwing my label under the bus, by the way, because they've helped me be successful and
Great
have a
label.
career and make a lot of money. And that's wonderful.
Yeah.
But I don't have to have anybody from any label or management or producer. Nobody has to say, man, that's just too heavy, or that
Yeah.
lyric's just so dark. You can't scream like that, because
Yeah.
truthfully, that's what I like to listen to. So it's
Mhm.
been a really fun process getting to kind of just do whatever we want to do and getting to show off a little bit. And it's angsty and it's heavy, and and I'm having a great time.
Yeah, definitely. And I was talking with Trevor from TFK about the kind of the same thing last week. Is he just released his side project a few weeks ago,
Yeah,
and it really went back to I loved the old TFK stuff where he was rapping like crazy, and with Skillet, dude, I loved Awake, I love Rise, I love Unleash, but I miss Collide was one of my favorite
right,
records. That's the one that got me into you guys. But now you guys have kind of with Skillet is kind of fans expect the strings and the all of that stuff, and you can't really venture out too much like you said. But with this, for fans like me, this is like, yeah, this is good. It's the heavy side that we love, that we miss, and you
right.
you don't there's no expectations really because it's brand new. It's kind of like starting over in a lot of ways.
It is like starting over, actually, and I mean, obviously, there's a base there
Yeah.
that will hear of it, but I do think it's a little bit of a different crowd. There certainly is bleed over.
Well, yeah.
I've had tons of people say, "Oh man, it's like this reminds me of the Collide stuff,"
Well, yeah.
and truthfully, it's for those fans. But I think that we're going to be getting into new fan territory, which I think is a really cool thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I love how you can kind of pretty much go in really any direction you want. And I mean, what was the thought process bringing Seth into the mix with this project? Because obviously there's the familiarity. You've been writing with him for he's been with you for about 7 or 8 years now, and so there's that familiarity for fans and yourself as well. But where did you decide you wanted to bring him in and bring in John and Jared in as well? What role do they play in the project?
Yeah. Well, part of it was that, Seth is a really, really good guitar
Oh
player,
yeah.
and he gets to show off with skill a little bit, but he's capable of even a lot more, and 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 he's just a great guy.
Mhm.
And I thought, why look for another guitar player when I've got Seth? I mean, he's a great person to be with. He's a great friend, and he's a wicked player.
Yeah.
And I thought, I think we could do that. For a long time, Slipknot and Stone Sour was Corey Taylor, and
Jim
and
Root.
you know, yes, exactly. And I thought, well, they did that. I think I could probably pull that off, and then get new players for the rest of it. And so it kind of just worked itself out because we recorded the whole EP. I think 90% of it we recorded on the road in dressing rooms
Gotcha.
all around the world, locker rooms. It was fun, and we were recording that. And the only thing we had to really do in studio was get basically reamping a lot of the guitars to get better
Sure.
sounds, and then re cutting on drums and things like that. But all of the writing, all of the guitar tracking and vocals were done on the road, so that was really
Nice.
cool. And then I needed a second guitar player, and I needed a second lead player because what I always envisioned, and what you'll hear on the rest of the EP, you'll hear a little bit more some harmony guitar solos and stuff like that, some Avenged Sevenfold-ish,
Nice.
Maiden, that kind of stuff,
Ooh.
and we've done a little bit of that on Skillet, but you really need two lead players to pull that stuff off.
Yeah.
And John Panzer actually auditioned for Skillet years ago, the same time as Seth.
Oh.
And I was like, but he was like 16 at the time, so I was like, this kid is really, really good. I don't think I want a 16-year-old on the road right now.
Right.
And we chose Seth. Seth was older and better, and but I knew that John was going to be a great player, and man, he is a shredder. So there's a part at the end of the EP that we really cut loose into more of like a very old school speed metal thing,
Nice.
and it's like a guitar dueling, and there's some really fantastic shredding happening at the end of it that him and Seth both played on. That was quite fun.
Nice. What about Jared coming in?
Funny thing is Seth was like, he's like, dude, my cousin's a really great drummer, and it's kind of rude of me, but in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, really, and just like your girlfriend play tambourine too, like.
Well, that's the first place you go, probably. It's like.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, right, okay, yeah, your cousin's a great drummer, good, and it turns out he was. So Jared is Seth's cousin, and he's just absolutely slamming on the drums. people will
Nice.
see him play, for the first time very soon with Skillet. I'm sorry, with Fight the Fury, and I've just got a really great group of good people, good friends, and great players.
Nice. That's awesome. But why just an EP? Why not like a full length? Is there a full length
You
coming
know,
down the road?
I think it's just that we didn't know how much time we might have to work it. It was a little bit.
Gotcha.
It was a little bit of the unknown, and the label was like, hey, if you want to do this second band, we kind of get it. Skillet's got to be the main thing, and
Right.
and Skillet is there's a lot of money invested there that the label needs to reimburse, and
Yeah.
there's a lot there. They have a lot of eggs in that basket, so we can't full on do it. Plus, Skillet's got 15 employees, and we got to keep the bills. So
Right.
so it was a little bit like maybe we release it for the fans. We do a little bit of touring, and we start building it from the ground up, and get it out sooner than later. So that was kind of the
Gotcha.
idea, as an introduction to the band. We can get out and do a little bit of touring, and try to build up a fan base.
Gotcha. I just think it's on a kind of a side note. I think it's kind of funny when you did a video explaining kind of where Fight the Fury came from, and you mentioned it, and I kind of mentioned it to everybody that commented or texted me after I posted the news article. Is he done with Skillet? It's like Skillet's one of the top three, one of the main rock bands on Atlantic. You're not just gonna stop Skillet just
Right.
to do something else. It's gonna be there. Like it's not going anywhere. It's time to breathe.
Sure.
It's time to breathe.
Yeah.
You know.
It was really funny. I was not expecting that. I was like, oh, we might want to put something out really soon.
Yeah.
saying,
Exactly.
but at least people care. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, good. They don't want us to stop. But no, I mean, Skillet, we're already 70% done with the next Skillet record as well.
Nice.
We were recording 3 records at once. We recorded the Ledger record, which for people who don't know, that's
Yeah.
Skillet's drummer Jen Ledger.
Yes.
We recorded her record at the same time as we were writing a brand new Skillet
Oh
record,
my
which was
God.
supposed to release this month originally. We were going to release
Really?
Skillet in October.
Wow.
Yeah, and when we released the Ledger record, we went, you know what? I think we should give it a little bit more time to breathe before a Skillet
Yeah.
project, because it's going good. People like it.
Yeah.
And maybe we should push Skillet to next year. And then if we do that, it's a great time to slate in Fight the Fury, because the label was like, the label really let me make the record on my own, which was great. I produced it.
Nice.
I wrote all the songs. I don't even
Gotcha.
think the label even heard all the songs before it got mixed, which is a nice thing. And they
Yeah.
kind of let me do what I wanted to do. So the good thing was that it was almost done recording. And I said, good, let's put the record out and let's do this. So that's a
Nice.
pretty cool thing. But Skillet will be coming out next year.
Gotcha. It's funny you mentioned Ledger, because when I first heard her EP, yeah, I was blown away by it, and it's very, very faith based, obviously, but I was kind of surprised that it's gotten as much attention in the mainstream and on mainstream active rock as it has. It's blowing up on both sides, which is really cool to see. And I think we're playing drums on one of the songs on the Skillet tour, this last leg, I think, which was kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's we Skillet's not, we're not huge or anything, but I knew that we would have at least a little weight to put behind the Ledger
Yeah.
project. Put the name behind it, put
Sure.
the weight behind it. We helped her write it. My wife Corey, who plays guitar for Skillet, of course. Corey produced most of the Ledger project as well. And I sang on one of the songs, and we just said we're going to throw Skillet's weight behind it and push it. And I think it's I just think the fans love it. I mean, the fans love Jen no matter what.
They do. Yeah, they do.
Even if the record sucked, the fans love Jen.
Yeah, they do.
And I knew that they would like the project because the songs are good, and there's people out there that go, hey, I really love Skillet, but I really want more Jen, and so that it's kind of a perfect match. So now, when me and Jen are together, somebody at my label always says for Skillet, he always goes, when you and Jen sing together, it's like Beauty and the Beast.
Well, what's that supposed to mean?
I sound like a beast and she sounds pretty.
Yeah.
So I think that putting a Ledger record out and Fight the Fury is even more. Hers is even more beautiful and mine is even more beastly. So
Nice.
there you go.
Does that mean that on the next Skillet headline tour, we could see a Ledger set, a Fight the Fury set, and a Skillet set?
Oh, I doubt that.
Oh.
You know what? Anything in the whole world is possible, but
Right.
I will say that part of the point of Fight the Fury is that it's a lot of showmanship and it's
Right.
a whole other way of thinking in terms of how you perform and technicality and things like that. So I don't think it would be as easy for Skillet to play those songs because it's just a whole different animal.
Gotcha. I got one more why question. Why Russia for the first tour stop for the first show?
Truthfully, Skillet, we're really big in Russia. I don't really know why, but there's a really extremely loyal fan base in Russia, and they've been so good to us. I thought, where would be a really cool place to do your first tour where people would really care.
Right.
Even though at that point the EP would have only been out for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And we just kind of felt that would be a cool thing to do for the fans. It'd be a great way to get our feet wet playing shows and all that sort of thing. So,
right.
I never expected that. If you had told me a month ago, 6 weeks ago, hey, you're going to be releasing a Fight the Fury record and then you're going to go to Russia, I would have been like, yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Right.
6 weeks ago, we were going to be putting a Skillet record out in January. So
right.
It just all changed it just changed so quickly. But I feel really good about it. It's going to give Ledger a chance to spread her wings a bit, put a little bit more time between the Skillet record and the Ledger and Fight the Fury record.
That's awesome. And yeah, I mean, that's just the music industry in general. Nothing's ever definite and concrete, and timetables never stay what they're meant to be, and plans never, it's an always evolving and changing door. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, just look at the festivals and these headline dates and bands headlining, dropping off, and everything. I mean, it's crazy. I mean,
you're right. You never know.
Yeah.
In fact, I was in the studio finishing up 3 Skillet songs that were going to be mixed the next week when we had the conversation to push the record back. So I had to stop working on Skillet songs the next day and began finishing the Fight the Fury songs.
Oh my God.
I was like, okay. I mean, it was a good thing. I already had 80% of the Fury record was recorded.
Right.
I just had to do some overdubs. So it was a really funny experience, and but I was really glad. I felt like this was the right time for Fury.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've been waiting. I think I've been emailing Amy every day. Is music ready? Is music ready? I have to hear this record. I'm waiting. She's like, it's coming. It's coming. I was like, I know it's coming. I have to hear it. So I cannot. I'm waiting for it, man. But shifting gears. I mean, obviously this weekend you're back with Skillet. Rock Allegiance over in New Jersey. I mean, hell of a lineup. Insane Clown Posse and Guar are on that festival. Then Chris Jericho with Fozzy, and then Limp Bizkit, and then Papa Roach. That is one heck of a lineup. But shifting back into Skillet mode, I mean, what's this? What's the new album sound like? I gotta ask because I'm ready.
Sure, Skillet. Gosh, haven't talked about it in a while. I'm moving all the way back into Skillet zone. Well, I'd say we're about 70% done. So all that to say, actually, what kind of like what you just alluded to a second ago, anything could happen with that. That could change. We could end up writing new songs.
Right.
Things could change. But I do think, a couple of the songs that I had written for Skillet, that I think the label was going, hey, this is a little heavier. This is a little bit meaner, and I think that was inspired a little bit by the Fury Project.
Nice.
And you might know, since it sounds like what's happening in the Skillet world. You remember when we released last year? We released the what do you call it? The extended version of
the Unleashed and Beyond. Yeah.
and we had a song on there that Lacey Sturm sang on with us. It was called
Yes.
Breaking Free.
Yes.
Yeah, and that song was very much inspired by my work I had been doing on Fight the Fury at the time,
Gotcha.
and I produced Breaking Free myself. And if you notice, it's got some screaming on it. It's
Yep.
a little bit more, straight up rock.
Yeah.
And so I think there'll be a touch of that on the Skillet record. Of course, it's going to be hopefully, very commercial and,
Sure.
pop hooks and arena hooks. That's what Skillet is to
Yep.
me. Skillet is like for an arena full of fans with their fists in the air. But
Yes.
I would say it still has that, but I think it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more aggressive, and
Gotcha.
I wouldn't say screamy, and certainly nothing like Fight the Fury, but
Right.
it's got a touch of that rawness to it.
Nice. Nice. Dude, that's awesome.
So far.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready. I'm
Anything
always
can
ready.
happen.
I'm always ready for new music. Always. I cannot
I
wait.
love it.
It's man, dude, John, this has been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for taking time. Good luck. Stay safe on the road. Hopefully Rock Allegiance happens this weekend because
Yes.
every rock fan in the country is ready for a festival to happen. So we're ready for it,
Awesome.
and man, I can't wait to hear the records. I can tell you how much I love it. I know I will because I love My Demons. It's absolutely amazing, and dude, it's good to hear the heavy stuff. So
Well, thank you so much. That means a ton to me. I'm glad you're listening. Thanks for playing it, and
heck yeah.
thanks to all the fans for listening. I really appreciate it.